We need to bloody stop bailing out the big banks. This too big to fail stuff is nonsense. And it's gotten to the point in time where it's not even just too big to fail. It's the fact that they are getting free money. Yeah, the biggest banks in the country, yeah, the ones that charge you 30% interest on your credit cards, which again, I understand, non-recourse loans. Well, the ones that you're having a difficult time getting a loan from if you are a small business, why would they loan to you if they can just give the money to the Federal Reserve and get a great rate of return with no risk whatsoever? Yeah, that's been going on for some time. Listen, I want anybody, if you get a chance, to go back to the 2016 Republican Party platforms when Donald Trump won. One of the things I was really excited about that he put in there that we didn't follow through on was a real effort to go and break up the big banks and these institutions. It's few and far between right now in Congress because, again, these guys write very big checks. But of course, the usual congressional heroes, guys like Rand Paul, and prior to him, Ron Paul, were doing this on a regular basis. Rand Paul just put forward calls it the End the Fed's Big Bank Bailout Act. What does it do? It prevents the Federal Reserve from paying interest on bank reserves. It ends hundreds of billions in backdoor bailouts for banks, and it saves we the people, the taxpayers, about $1 trillion over the next decade. Yeah, you see, it wasn't always this way. This came out of the Great Recession, where all of a sudden banks would just, hey, we'll put our money at the Federal Reserve and get a nice check. And it's not just the big banks here in the United States; it's global banks as well. Rand Paul, being interviewed, was asked. He said, why would a bank want to provide a small business loan to a local contracting company or a tech startup when they are incentivized to just hold on to cash? Again, there's a risk reward element in certain things. Why would banks lend their capital when they can take no risk whatsoever and still turn a profit? Exactly. This happened back in 2008. Before the financial crisis, the Federal Reserve paid zero. That's right, zero interest on banks on reserve balances. Back then, the banks had a greater incentive to make loans to make a profit. Having their money just sitting there didn't really make any sense. This is all different now. The financial crisis led Congress to authorize payments to banks as a way to control the money supply. These payments have gone through the roof. We're $37 trillion in debt right now, but do you know that the Federal Reserve is also paying billions with a B, billions to banks in interest payments? Billions. Again, Rand Paul has an act here that would stop the Fed interest payments to banks, and again, will save the taxpayer about $1 trillion over 10 years. Who could be against something like this? Oh, I can tell you. Politicians. Politicians that get nice, big, fat checks from big banks. Watchdog on wallstreet.com.